Okay, hi friends. My pretty intense group. I was trying to do this video outside. My husband called and cut the video off short, so we're gonna try this all over again here inside, where the neighbors aren't mowing the grass, even though it's beautiful outside, and I'd rather be out there. All right, so bear with me. What I wanted to talk to you about today was a couple of the things that we've kind of discussed in the group and some things that people have asked me about separately. So target heart rate, BMR, BMR, we don't really want to talk about that, but got to address it anyway, and all of that information. First off, what I want to talk about is that target heart rate. The reason target heart rate is important is because it lets you know if you are not where you need to be for intensity or if you're too high in that intensity. First things first, we have a resting heart rate. So first thing in the morning when you get up, take a minute or 30 seconds and times it by 2 if you have a watch. If you don't have a watch that tells you your resting heart rate, go ahead and just take your pulse and get your resting heart rate. Very important information to have. The second thing is then your target heart rate. Now, we don't really like calculations as much, but the calculation here is just 220 minus your age. This is just going to give you a good place to start. Now, with that resting heart rate, if you're below 60, it means it's slow. You're really fit, or maybe you're taking beta blockers. If it's 60 to 100, that's normal. Technically 72 to 80 for female is the most on point normal that most people have for resting. Over 100 is fast. So the more fit we get, the slower that number goes down. Back to target heart rate, 220 minus your age. Mine, I'm going to be 40 in literally 1 month from today. So that gives me 180 is my max. That is when you are going all out as hard as you can. You can't talk, you can't breathe, you can't nothing. That's your max. You don't want to be there very long. Couple seconds at most. Then about between 50 and 85% of that is your target. That is where you want to be in the fitness zone. And I'll post a picture about this too that has even a nice little graph and everything else that you can kind of figure out where you're at and if you're in the fat burning zone or the cardio zone. So that higher number, so 50 to 85% puts me right between 90 and 160. The 90 range, I'm usually walking around the house. Well, I'm at 74 right now. I'm like talking sometimes. Strength training, you're in that lower number. Strength training, you burn more fat and calories later. You build the muscle. That is what they're for. It boosts your metabolism later, so your heart rate will stay elevated for longer. And yeah, you end up burning more fat. Your cardio is the higher of that number. So for me, 160 is the higher of the number. It's hard for me to even get to 160. Ow, my knee. We were talking about my knee in Zoom this morning. So 160, that higher part, that's more cardio. You are better heart and lung function, burning more fat and calories in the moment. All right. So that is that 50 to 85% of that max, which is 220 minus your age, is going to give you that target heart rate. And that's where you want to be. In Silver Sneakers, they talk about perceived exertion. So the older you get, those numbers change, all right, because it's all based on age. So perceived exertion. And I also say this for people who are just starting in fitness. With your cardio, I want you to be in those 1 minute sets for jogging or 8 minutes for that long circuit. I want you to be where if I came up to you and asked you how you were doing, you would be like, okay, but no more than a couple words at a time. I do want you to be able to talk to me though. So things to think about as you're exercising. Could I talk? Could I say anything? If you could hold a full conversation, you need to take it up some. All right. And again, beta blockers, stuff like that will affect your heart rate. So watch any medications you're taking if it talks about that. Beta blockers is the big one they talk about when we're doing personal training. But if there's any in there that are part of that. BMI, phooey. I'm not even going to discuss BMI. I wish doctors would get rid of it. It's really, really dumb. But your BMR, your basal metabolic rate, I sometimes will call it my basic metabolic rate. What my body burns just to survive. Call it my sick day. Laying in bed, not moving a muscle. What am I going to burn? So that's a calculation too. There are all kinds of, you can Google search these calculators, all kinds of calculators out there that'll tell you this without having to do the calculation. But if you want to, get a pen and paper because we're going to do it together. All right. So for a female, your BMR, B is in boy, M is in metabolic, R is in radical. I cracked myself up. All right, so 4.536. 4.536, and you can do this on your calculator, times your weight in pounds. So for me, 145, that puts me at 657.72. So your calculation, 4.536 times your weight in pounds. Write that number down. Did you get it? Okay. Your next calculation. So put a little plus sign next to that number. All right, you got that number? Put a plus sign. Plus. 15.88 times your height in inches. I'm 5'2", that puts me at 62 inches on a good day. 15.88 times your height in inches. Okay, so if you're not sure what your height in inches are, well, 5 foot is 60 inches. 6 foot is 72 inches. You can figure it out from there, right? All right, so the 15.88 times my height gives me 984.56. So 15.88 times height in inches. Write that number down. Next to that plus sign, get that first number, plus sign, write that second number. Did you get it? Okay. Next equation. Put a minus. So you have a number, a plus, another number, a minus, third number. 5 times your age. I am going to be 40. I'm good with that. And it doesn't bother me. I'm going to be 40. So 5 times my age gives me 200. So that's an easy one, right? 5 times your age. So you have your weight pounds calculation plus your height calculation minus your age calculation plus 5 gives you your metabolic rate, your basal metabolic rate, basal threshold. Mine is 14.47. Now, according to my Fitbit, 1,400 calories is about what it says I burn on my days I do nothing anyway. So that's about right. So these calculations are really, the more complex the calculations, they tend to be a little more correct. So that's what your body burns on a day you do nothing. So what I suggest, because we don't want our body to go into starvation, if you're going to focus on calories, now like we said, there's all different kinds of things to focus on. You can focus on carb cycling, where you do low carb some days and high carb some days. You can focus on intermittent fasting, which is what I do. I don't eat from usually 7:30 at night until noon or 1 the next day, or however that works in your schedule. You could do blood sugar stabilization, which is what the Pretty Intense book talks about, eating every 3 to 5 hours, healthy kind of complete meals. They're all different kinds of things. So if you're going to focus on the calorie intake, calories in, calories out, which is another way to focus on it, think about that BMR. Don't go below your BMR. Use your workout to be your deficit. All right? And you're looking for about a 500 calorie deficit per day to lose 1 pound in a week. 3,500 calories equals 1 pound. 7 times 500 is 3,500. So to lose 1 pound in 1 week, you'd have to have a deficit of 500 calories, which is doable. You know, one of my classes generally is about 500 calories. Running a mile, give or take, is about 100. Walking a mile, give or take, is about 100. A mile, give or take, is about 100 calories, no matter how fast or slow you go. So use it as your deficit if you're thinking about calories in, calories out. And not our calories are created equal, right? So some calories are better than others. I tend to not count as intensely my bowl of strawberries I had or the fresh green beans that I have for dinner. The things that came from the earth and are not processed, I don't worry about those calories as much. Because generally, between the vitamins and the digestion and everything else, I'm burning about what I'm taking in anyway. So that is something to think about too. That's just another way to kind of do it. When I do it like that, I put myself at a lower calorie count just because I'm not counting those. And I've done that on occasion because I don't feel like counting every single little cup of green beans or a cup of strawberries. And I'm like, I'm just going to eat them because they're good for me. You know, if I put a little salt on top, I add that in. If I put a little sugar on top, I add that in, but not the wholeness themselves. All right, so that being said, measurements. The reason why measurements and pictures, and you can keep them by yourself. You don't have to share them with me. You can just hold on to them yourself. The reason why they're important is they're going to give you a starting point. They're going to help hold you accountable because you know you did them. All right? So across the bust, if you want to do bust, you don't have to. Mine doesn't usually fluctuate that much. Your natural waist, which is right above, see, level high-waisted leggings, right? Right above that belly button, couple inches. So between the bottom of the ribs, and the hip bone, whatever that natural waist is, and then hips if you want, iliac crest, find that bone, that iliac crest, and then if you want to do butt, the apex of the butt, and the thigh, the thickest part of your thigh. That will help you with that. If you would rather do pictures, I'm going to lose some inches, but I'm more into that toning up area. You can take pictures and see the tone and the definition and the muscle build and all of that. I've been noticing it a lot through here the last couple weeks. So, waist circumference, that does play a big factor in especially women, our health and fitness. The bigger the waist, the more likely we have heart problems. And it gets harder and harder to get rid of that gut the older we get. I know people that are bigger than me that are more fit than people that are skinnier than me. Don't let measurements bog you down. That's why the fit test is important. And if the fit test isn't for you, do something that kind of give yourself some measurements on exercise to see, oh, hey, I can do more of those now than I could before, kind of thing. So, all right. What else? Was there anything else? Now, the apps. Those apps that I sent. That picture of the apps. My go-to apps. And there's a reason there's multiples. First off, that body tracker app. Oh, can I tell you how much I love body tracker? Amanda knows this. I love body tracker. The pictures I take of my body in that tracker, it doesn't end up on my phone. It's just in the app. It holds them secret, and it doesn't let them out. Measurements. You can put your measurements in there. Now, I know the Anytime Fitness app, there's a way you can do that. I will figure it out for you if you want me to. But that I can pull up and see, because when I log in, I pull somebody up, it'll tell me if they have logged measurements or a health fitness exam or anything. So if you want to keep it secret, that body tracker app is great for that. It does. It holds it all secret. You can even do your body fat percentage via measurements and not have to do the skin fold, because we all hate that little pinchy skin fold thing. And unless you have somebody doing it to you, it's hard to get it done right anyway. I've done it numerous times and I never get the same. Every time I do it, I get something different, even if it's the same day. So body tracker for pictures and for measurements is great for that. Food-Ucate. Food-Ucate is great to figure out what kind of food you're eating, what grade they get, why they get that grade, and then you can figure out if that's important to you or not. Sometimes it's a carcinogen, sometimes it just says it's highly processed. There's one we were talking about, it had a chocolate brownie, and the chocolate brownie was the same grade for kind of the same reasons. It wasn't a chocolate brownie, it was the Cliff Bar chocolate brownie. Be more specific, because people think Cliff Bars are healthy. It was the same as a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. I'd much rather have a Reese's, wouldn't you? There's a couple protein bars I was eating that were the same as a Little Debbie Nutty Buddy. I'd rather have one of those too. So you have to look at it, why it got that grade, and and if that part is important to you or not. So that's great. And I don't use it as much anymore. You can track food in there, but I don't. Just came up that Victoria did a workout. Yay, Victoria! You don't have to track your food in there. I just kind of use it. It's a great buddy for when I go grocery shopping. I kind of scan things if I'm thinking, oh, I want this, but let me see if there's a better option, kind of thing. MyFitnessPal, that is where I track my food. It links up to my Fitbit. It links up to most of my other apps, so I track it through MyFitnessPal. And they have a great database. You can even make your own foods, like my lasagna's in there, my healthy cookies are in there, those kind of things. The Anytime Fitness app, of course, is great for, there's two of them. Both are great for different reasons. Gotta love the Anytime Fitness. And then the MyFitnessPal. No, we did MyFitnessPal. Map My Fitness. Map My Fitness was the other one. So Map My Fitness I use when I'm going out walking, running, biking, hiking, because my Fitbit, the GPS, it doesn't always track it as well. And if I want to be accurate, say I'm doing a virtual run or something, if I want to be accurate, I just use that. It also then pulls up the map. I used it before hiking so I can find my way out, because I've gotten lost. I've gotten lost in neighborhoods running, and I've had to figure out how to get home. So it's kind of good for that stuff too. Helps you not get lost, as long as you have internet. Then the Peloton. For a while, Peloton was offering quite a few classes for free. I don't know if they're still got some on there that are not for free. I will check that out if you want me to also. But there was, so I had Peloton on there. And there was walking and running and HIIT workouts. It wasn't just the bike that you see. I think they've kind of gotten big for their britches, and they're all about the bike now. And so I'm pretty sure it costs to get into some of those. But for a while there, I could even do some of the biking ones at the gym for free. All right, so there you have it. Target heart rate, resting heart rate, BMR, the apps that I use that are some of my favorite, and why, like I said, why things are good. Calorie or cardio, better heart and lung function, burn more fat and calories in the moment. Cardio or weights, kick up that metabolism, burn more fat later because the muscles have got to rebuild. But you're not going to burn as much in the workout. So that's all the information I have for now. If there are other questions that you have, please let me know. I'll be happy to address them or answer them in any way I can. You guys are awesome. I will send some pictures. After people have kind of watched the video a couple times, I will send some of those pictures I set out, like the body fat one, the target heart rate one, that kind of stuff, so you guys can kind of see where you're at. I like body fat percentage much more than BMI. Complete Nutrition does in-body scans. Nick's talking about possibly going ahead and getting us an in-body scanner. I'm really hoping. And so that gives you a better indication of where you're gaining and losing. And same as measurements, they do great, more so than a scale. I was at the gym today and I didn't even step on the scale. And I usually step on the scale like 100 times. Just for fun. Just because I think it's funny that I'll do a class and I'll gain a pound. Or I'll, go potty and I lose 2 pounds. And I'm like, okay, that was kind of insane. I just like stepping on the scale for the fun of it. But I didn't even step on the scale today. Again, measurements, photos, you can share. You do not have to at all. And you can share them with just me if you want. Or you can share them with the group. It's up to you. I want to be held accountable, so I shared mine with the group. Because I need peer pressure. I do. I need peer pressure to help me stay on track. But whatever else I can help you guys with, let me know. And we will have fun tonight at Sticks. Hopefully my playlist won't get muted. I'm kind of mad. I got blocked. And now I'm not blocked, so I can't use that playlist again. However, I did do the dance class on YouTube. So you can look at my YouTube page, and the dance class is on there. So you don't have to worry about the mute. I don't know why YouTube allows it. And it was all Christian music for the most part that it muted. And I'm like, why are you blocking? I don't know. But you guys have a great day. Love you. And take a moment to be mindful today.